first of 4 Super Saturdays, building up towards that grand final on December 13th. And a great roar greets the players. It's a sellout here today. I suspect the seats will fill throughout the morning and afternoon. We've slightly different start times for Saturdays, so 11:15 a.m. for the first game and 3:30 p.m. for the second. And out walk the Lions openers, Darcy Short and Sundeep Jura, who I think thought played really nicely up at the top of the order, and a new role for him. And both of these two sides have already played the Chitwan Rhinos. They've had differing results. They've had a win in Lumbini Lions' case over the Rhinos, a very hard-fought win, but one that they deserved. But the Yaks, well, they need a win because they weren't particularly good, really, with the exception of Priyank Panchal, who played ever so well for his 90. The rest of the team didn't really turn up, and poor old Max O'Dowd has been given the axe after just one game. There is Jura, that was last season, not at his best to say the least, so he's been given a new role up at the top of the order, and looking forward to seeing how the Australian Darcy Short goes. His nation in Ashes action right now in Perth. The way that test is going, it could be over by sometime tomorrow morning. It means that plenty of attention is here in Kathmandu. Andrew Leonard here, as we see Sampal Kami warm up for his bowling. And I've got HD Ackerman alongside me in the commentary box. HD, we've kind of got used to the one game a day. I don't know if my alarm went off this morning, but I'm certainly a little bit more tired than I was yesterday. How are you?
Oh, well, thanks, Andrew, and good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are catching this this broadcast. A little bit different for the Lions, though, today, because they're going to have first hit the other day against the Rhinos. They chased down a very modest target, so something new for them to experience setting. And also for the Yaks, who batted first against the Chitwan Rhinos. They got 166, which wasn't bad, but the Rhinos chased it down comfortably via another Ravi Bapara masterclass. So good contest lies ahead.
Yeah, I think we should have 2 really good games today. And actually, one of the things I've enjoyed already in season 2 is that some of the sides that you felt as though had no chance of getting to the playoffs last year are looking like real contenders this year. I think particularly about the Lumbini Lions and the Kathmandu Gorkhas, when I say that's really the only side that's totally struggled thus far has been the Bukhara Avengers. They're going to have to turn things around. Here comes Kami. He's greeted with the roar of a Saturday crowd and immediately beats the outside edge. He's a charismatic man, isn't he, Sampal Kami? And full of confidence, he said, "We will win today," to me at the toss.
Well, you don't want to go 0 from 2, because that starts to put you under pressure, and in these competitions you need to just get a win under your belt early on, just to settle everyone, particularly management, because management can get a little bit feisty when a win doesn't come early.
You're spot on. They get a bit jumpy because they've waited the whole season. The anticipation has been across the country. It's one of the changes to the team today. Will Basisto coming in place of Max O'Dowd. He had a great year last year. It was really his bowling, actually, more so than his batting, that had such an impact. And he's one of 2 changes. In comes Bipin Sharma. Couldn't believe he didn't play the first game. Out goes Unish Thakori. So that's a left arm spinner in for an off spinner. And then for the Lions, just the 1 change. In comes Sumit Maharjan. Dinesh Adhikari, the one to miss out there for them. Nicely bowled by Kami. Really good length. You know Basisto very well, don't you, from Western Australia? He had a good year last year.
Yeah, he did. He got runs and he got wickets. And I was very surprised that he got left out in the first game because of what an instrumental figure he was within this Yak side. He went away from the Nepal Premier League, and all of a sudden people were aware of who Will Basisto was. He played in the Bangladesh Premier League. He's played in the NCL in Dallas in America. So he's become a bit of I won't say journeyman, but he's become someone who the smaller leagues, the ones under the IPL, let's call it that, are starting to look at players like Basisto.
With a swing and a miss. Great start this from Kami. Yeah, a bit of a globe-trotter, probably the decent word to describe him. But I'll tell you something, he's a good cricketer, isn't he? You can look at the umpires. It's Ravindra Siri, who I thought did a very good job actually yesterday up in the third umpire's box. I know the men in purple have been under the microscope somewhat, but this man in particular has actually been excellent so far this season, Durganath Subedi, and let's hope that we're not talking about them as much as we go forward. It's a tough job, isn't it? Because the only time you're really being talked about is when there's a problem. Just trying to overhit a little bit as Jura gets home to get off the mark finally.
I was actually reading an article this morning about a man by the name of Sene Lammens, who's been picked as the new Manchester United goalkeeper, and Wes Brown, who's an ex-player for Manchester United, said the fact that I think he's doing a good job is we don't talk about him a lot, and it's a bit similar. A goalkeeper is a bit similar to an umpire, isn't it? If you never mention them, they're doing great jobs.
Yeah, I think it's such a good point, isn't it? It's a thankless task in essence. Maybe the only time the goalkeeper in soccer gets to be the hero is when there's a penalty. You're not really expected to save it, but if you do, you end up with your name up in lights. Great start from Sampal Kami, leading from the front, just one from the first over. Lions 1-0. Now, a first look with all of the sides having played at least one match. That's a first look at the second season of this Siddhartha Bank Nepal Premier League table. 3 sides without a win: the Yaks, the Bolts, the reigning champions, the Bolts, and the Car Avengers, who are the only side to have lost 2, with a net run rate that isn't looking very pretty right now. Remember, the top 4 teams qualify for the playoffs, and the top 2 have 2 chances to get to that grand final, as Nandan Yadav will open up the bowling alongside Sampal Kami. Just losing his footing a touch. You were out there doing a pitch report, HD. What did you make of the surface that we're going to play on today?
Well, I think all the surfaces have played extremely well. This one is the one where the 220 was scored on by the Kings, and I think it's a good one, Andrew. I think it's got more pace in it than what we saw yesterday on a different pitch. So with the new ball, I feel that the seamers can run in and bowl seam up. But as soon as that ball gets a little bit old, and as the sun starts to come out here, it gets a little dry.
Gets himself in a tangle reminiscent of Kushal Bertel's dismissal yesterday. Jura, you talk about management and ownership getting jumpy. He's getting jumpy out in the middle.
Again, I can understand if Glenn Maxwell plays the shot because he prefers it to the cover drive, but there's no one on the offside boundary to an outswing bowler. Surely you just try and play an authentic cover drive to beat the inner ring for 4 than getting on bended knee against the new ball.
Nandan Yadav's stock delivery will swing the ball away. Jura will know that. He's in the international T20 side alongside Nandan Yadav. Well, that's nicely bowled and probably just doing a little bit too much right now. Sandeep Jura is staggering around the ring.
Almost Darcy Short just left the non-striker's end, made his way down to the other side. Sandeep Jura saw him and he walked, and they met in the middle, and there was a little brief conversation. Now you wonder if the experience of Short said, just relax here, it's okay.
Tries to go up and over the offside, doesn't get much of it, and oh, what a take! William Basisto back into the side, pulls pulls off as good a running catch as you'd want to see. And the catch of the tournament thus far goes to the Australian from the Karnali Yaks.
You don't get a tougher catch than this. When you've got to turn and run away from the field of play, this is the hardest catch that you'll ever see on a cricket field. And the full dive, and then to make sure that the elbows don't jar the ground and that the ball spills out, that is quite spectacular from Basisto. Jora goes for one. The Lions are 1 for 1.
Well, hold on to your hats, whether you're in the crowd or at home, because you've just seen the catch of the tournament. That's why Rohit Paudal's come to the crease. That's across his entire NPL career. He's now gone past 300 runs after having a great first season. You just felt Sandeep Jora was going to get himself out, but he's really only been dismissed thanks to that man. I think William Basisto might have done some damage to his sunglasses as well in the process. I'm sure that somebody will sponsor him a new pair after taking a catch like that. Athleticism, grit, determination, and high quality skill to be able to take a catch like that. Quite phenomenal. Paudal immediately off the mark with a single. In fact, he wants a second, but he won't get it. Now, the reason we describe these as the most difficult catches to take, you're forcing against everything. How good is this?
Well, the ball just keeps going away from you. So you got to get your head down, you've got to sprint, and that takes a full-length dive. Mentioned a little bit earlier, though, to be able to keep his arms out in front of him and not pull the ball towards his chest so that the elbows don't make contact with the ground first, because so often when that happens, the ball spills out because of the jarring of the elbows on the ground. That is one of the great catches that you'll see.
Stayed in touch personally with Will Basisto quite a bit since last season. I know how much he enjoyed it. His parents, remember, came out to watch all of the Karnali Yaks games last year, and he's worked so hard. He's really taking it as a second chance at a cricket career, because he was plucked almost from obscurity, just from grade cricket. But to take a catch like this, it's all those hard yards, that work done that nobody can see. That great Muhammad Ali quote, isn't it? The fight is already won before you get in the ring. And that is quite brilliant. Let's hope he hasn't done himself a little bit of damage. You can see him just holding his elbow. And he is delighted to be back here in Kathmandu in the blue of Karnali. It's a wicket taking over, and it was all about the catch of William Basisto. 2 for 1. That's the potential lineup. Great story, Samir Ali. The first player this season to come through the talent hunt and debut. Every single one of the 8 Nepal Premier League sides has to pick a player from the talent hunt. But they've really embraced that, actually. They've run some of them quite long-reaching and long-lasting talent hunts. Some going for not just a couple of days, but several weeks. And Samir Ali, I thought he kept pretty well. his opening appearance. It's Arjun Gartree there. He's keeping wicket. We'll see Samarali in the second innings. And for the Lions, difficult start for them. HD, just talk me through the conditions here. Are we going to see any captains win the toss and choose to bat first? You said you think it'll bat okay in the first innings. Or is it just going to be a case that whoever's winning the flick of that coin is going to be bowling?
Well, we're 7 from 7, aren't we? But that doesn't necessarily mean the results have gone 7 from 7. And the captain's winning the toss and deciding to chase. I think it's really where cricket's gone in the T20 and the shortened version, is that teams want to chase. I think the nighttime game under lights, there's a reluctancy to bowl second because of the dew factor. It has an effect on the way the ball is gripped.
Why is that? Why do sides want to chase? Is it purely that they then know exactly what rate that they need to score at, or what's the thinking?
I think that's exactly right, and I think that they feel that teams batting first aren't sure what a total, how to go about putting a total together, and often go out too hard and end up getting bowled out for 140, and then it becomes a very, very simple chase. But if you can go and you can post a substantial score, I think you can flip that coin.
Really good pull shots. Yes, he's coming across the delivery in terms of its movement and its line, but I think he lined it up really nicely. And Rohit Paudel, not many finer domestic batters than him.
He was waiting for this because Sampal Kami has hit that length over and over again, and I think Rohit Paudel just said, I'm going to sit on my back foot here. Good stroke. Yes, if you can post something significant, if you can post anything 160 plus, batting first, you're in the game. You're well and truly in the game.
Tries to go again, but cloths it up towards the V of the bat. Very well bowled by Sampal Kami. I think he saw his national team captain coming. Just to build on your point about 7 captains having won the toss, 7 choosing to bowl first. Of the 6 matches we've had results in thus far, 3 have been won by the side batting first, 3 have been won by the side batting second. So it probably isn't as big a factor as even the captains and coaches and us as pundits are thinking.
Let's look at those scores though. 220, 193 from those are just 2 I can think of the teams that batted first that won.
And the other one was the Sudha Prashim Royals turning it around and defending their 147. 3 overs bowled, the Lions 6 for 1. Is the slate of games for the Lions, who somehow for the 2nd season in a row are the last team to come into action and the first team to be finished yet again. They seem to always be squeezed in the middle. It does mean that if they get into a winning habit this year, unlike the losing habit they had last year, that they can maybe book their place in the playoffs early, particularly if they made it 2 from 2 today. Now he's just taken a brilliant catch. Time to show his all-round skills with the ball, with the left-hander out there, Darcy Short, who's yet to get off the mark. Sampal Kami will call upon the Australian Will Basisto, who bowled so well last season, including those career best figures. It was a 6-wicket haul for him.
Come on, Willie! Come on, Willie!
Yeah, the other thing is we've had 3 overs. That's 18 balls, and Short had only faced 3 of those. Now he's sent in at the top of the order to try and get a move on inside the power play. Half the power play is done and he's hardly had any strike.
And that's a bit of naivety from both Rohit Paudel and particularly Sundeep Jura. Does also confuse me sometimes, though, and it can actually come down to superstition, can't it? If you're sending someone like Darcy Short out to take advantage of the power play, why is he not facing the first ball?
Yeah, that's a very good point. But batters are strange individuals and have superstitions, don't want to face the first ball or want you to enter the field, play before they do, all sorts of little things that happen. But he's off the mark now, Short.
The entirety of our great sport, the sport that I adore so much, it's just ludicrously superstitious. When a partnership is building up, heaven forbid you move in the dressing room because someone is going to grab your arm or shout at you and say, don't change anything. Things are going well. We need to be statues up here watching on.
When it comes to superstition, there's always one name that I bring up, and I suppose many South Africans bring him up. Neil McKenzie, the test batter for South Africa, who's now an assistant coach to Andrew Flintoff with the England Lions that are in Perth, Australia at the moment. He did some real weird things. All the toilet seats in the cubicles had to be down before he went into bat, because he believed that if they were up, it meant loose strokes. So they all had to be down. And that's just one of many.
There are some just frankly ludicrous ones, but there has to be some origin to them. Obviously, one of the games where he got a first ball, or he's come back in and just seeing that it was the other way around. I think it's the stop-start nature of our sport. We have an event, we have an act, i.e. the ball is bowled, then we have 10 to 15 seconds in between a spinner, or maybe 20 or 30 seconds in between a seamer's delivery. So the mind has time to play tricks.
Well, there was an occasion where his teammates took the mickey out of him and they taped one of his pads to the ceiling because he'd like to have neat kit, and he got 100 that day. So the next time they came, he did it as a joke, but he taped his own pad to the ceiling.
The strange and magnificent beasts that we are as cricketers. That's the field, long on, and it's really a cow corner rather than a deep mid-wicket outs. Protecting. Excellent over. Basisto already justifying his call into the team. The Lions going nowhere. 7 for 1 the score. Picture perfect weather. It's a beautiful time of the year in the Kathmandu Valley, and great colour from both sets of supporters. The Yaks and the Lions fans are here in good numbers. It is a sellout, a complete sellout, but plenty choosing to gradually work their way in to the first Super Saturday of the season. Got some great mascots as well. Look at the yak in the background, the yak attack.
The perfect start here for the Yaks. Just 7 runs conceded in 4 overs. This is a mighty over.
Yeah, you just sensed it was a matter of time before Darcy Short started to go. It's his first boundary, and the shackles may now start to be released. An Ensel Super 4 from Darcy Short. You sensed it was going to be an important over, HD.
Yeah, just with how well the first 3 overs from the Yaks went, you almost knew that Short was going to go. I don't think he's going to stop. There's going to be a change of angle from Nandan Yadav. He's going to come over the wicket now, potentially go across the left-hander. Maybe there's a little bit of swing for him.
There's a little bit of movement. Good Yorker. He is full of talent, Nandan Yadav, isn't he? And you can see why Stuart Law thinks an awful lot of him.
Well, he had a good tournament last year, bowling at the back end of an innings. He bowled those fabulous Yorkers. But here, where there's a little bit of swing, I like the...
क्वालिटी भएन भनेर चुतियाहरू गाली गर्दै थिए अनि लो क्वालिटी कस्तो हुन्छ देखाउँदै थिए के चुतियाहरूलाई के भन्छ कमेन्टमा लो क्वालिटी भयो भनेर गाली गर्दै थिए ल हेर चुतियाहरू लो क्वालिटी र फुल क्वालिटी कस्तो हुन्छ चेक गर है त अनि 300 रुपैयाँ तिर्ने औकात छैन भने नहेर 300 रुपैयाँ तिरेर हेर.
That's what impressed me so much about Nandan Yadav at the death in Oman in that critical T20 World Cup qualifier. It's been an Achilles heel of Nepal's national side for a long time now, the death bowling. But have a look at this, the variety, the change up. He's rolled his fingers over that. Looks for the Yorker, misses out and is punished down the ground. 4 more.
These are very important runs here for the Lions because they've got off to a very, very sedate start. Now, I know they've got some power to come, and Gulbadin Naib, JJ Smith, but they need a start here.
Yeah, and this partnership is particularly important as a consequence, HD. You just think about Rohit Powdell's runs last year and what a linchpin he was. By a distance, the standout domestic batter last season. Great to see this season he's going to have some real competition for that. Kushal Bertel's been in fantastic touch. Asif Sheikh with a 50 in his first game. Well bowled, good hard length, and they'll dash through for the single. That's our Omada JQ, Nepal's fastest growing EV brand. It provides a best in segment range, ground clearance, and that is the car that we actually take to the ground every day, branded up with the Nepal Premier League on the side. We get lots of people waving at us, don't we, as we come through the streets of Kathmandu around the ring road from the Salti. Very comfortable indeed. Nicely guided. I think he's played this up and over intentionally. Won't go all the way, but will pick up a couple. Bit more like it from the Lions. The best over the innings thus far has gone for 11. After 5, it's 18 for 1.
Great start here for the Karnali yaks. Signs of aggression, but not being able to find the gap.
Consummating of poor fielding. Very ordinary stuff. That not impressed Basisto and the captain Sumpal Kami as well. That's Gulshan Jha, one of the better fielders in the side. Very good morning, Fazal Khalil.
Thank you, Mikhail. Thank you, everyone watching this broadcast of Season 2 of the Siddhartha Bank NPL. Distress on the bowler. He's doing all the hard yards. And then when you have a poor ball fielding performance, it lets down the bowlers. They've done well so far. The Yaks winning the toss, electing to field. They have Lumbini Lions really searching and groping for answers.
Good last over. 18 runs coming off it. 11 coming off the fourth. 29 runs in the last 12 balls. Done with a power play. Lumbini Lions bat deep. Darcy Short missed out in the last game with the bat. Powdale got a laborious 30-odd runs. They'll really want to up their game in this outing.
The day games, I don't think are going to get those 190s and 200s, Mikhail. I think maybe a score of somewhere around 165 to 175 will be par for the course. If they can get to 165, they will have runs on the board. And for that to happen, they need to bat with a certain plan. Now, Gulshan Jha, I mean, I've really rated him very highly. One of the talented cricketers coming from this neck of the woods, Gulshan Jha. So they need to plan the innings, especially these two in the middle, Rohit and Short. They've taken their time, 15 and 13 deliveries respectively. Well, this is exactly what we don't need. We need some conventional cricket.
Yeah, these are the heavyweights of Cricket Association of Nepal. In the background, you can see the secretary there, Paras Khatka. He's the man with a plan. What a leader, what a visionary. They call him the man with a vision and the supervision. Fazal, I was there in the annual conference in Singapore, the ICC, and he made a presentation on the NPL, Paras Khatka, and he had everyone floored by NPL Season 1 presentation.
Well, yes, I've known him briefly now at the start of this NPL, and he was kind enough to have me here as part of the commentary team. Paras really a very dynamic young man. He's not very old, 38 perhaps is what he is, but he seemed to have a real vision for Nepal cricket, and that's really good to see. But that cannot happen with the support from the others. You know, the president of the association, the secretary himself, and the office bearers of the association. That goes a long way in putting together a tournament like this. The presentation might have been made by him, Mikhail, but the planning behind that presentation is a complete teamwork, and I'm sure Paras Khatka will acknowledge that it is a teamwork, and he keeps mentioning how important it is to give these youngsters this opportunity. I mean, he's led and played cricket at the highest level. He's led Nepal, and I'm sure he's got that vision to take Nepal forward. Perhaps one day an ICC tournament, full member nation. These are the things that will be riding very high on his agenda. Well done to Can, well done to fabulous. It's called the Festival of the Himalayas, and rightly so.
Easy pickings. Has he found the fielder there? Oh dear. Darcy Short can only look back in disbelief, but Gulshan Jha has struck. What a turn of events here. That was there for the taking, and Darcy Short just hands it straight down the throat of the fielder deep mid-wicket. Another one bites the dust for the Lions.
Well, yes, Gulshan Jha, we were mentioning what an asset to the team he is, and then he picks up a very important wicket of Darcy Short. Another failure for Darcy Short, called Priyank Panchal, bowled Gulshan Jha, and in the 7th over, the Lumbini Lions are 37 for 2.
.37 for 2. Dilip Nath comes out to bat. Gulshan Jha just got lucky there. But he's been amongst wickets in 2025, 7 games, 7 wickets, and a decent economy as well. Dilip Nath managed just 10 in the last game of his. He'll have a point to prove. Yeah, that's poor bowling. The previous one was full. It went into hands. This one's down the leg. That'll go for a 4. And Nath is off the mark.
Well, a nice little gift for Nath. Down the leg side, first ball. That's exactly what you need. Just trying to test him with a short delivery. Just going a little awry. And easy pickings this. Just helping it around the corner. The fine leg was a little too square. It went fine enough to get his first boundary.
All-rounders in the side for the Yaks. Rohit standing 40 for the Lions. They need a big batting effort up front. The top order has just been found wanting. That's more like it. Successful over comes to an end. 6 runs and a wicket. It's 42 for 2. Game day 6, match number 7. A lot of red in the crowd. That's because the Lumbini Lions are in the house. Remember, it's weekend, doubleheader day. We have another match lined up as well. As always, a lot of excitement and colour at the TU International Cricket Ground. Yeah, matchups talk about with the turn, hitting with the turn. That's what Dilip Nath will try to the left arm spinner.
Well, really a tough phase now between 7 and 15 overs. Mark Watt, 5 for 27. Really good economy, 7.55 runs to the over, 114 wickets. So a lot of experience out there on the park. And Rohit and Nath, not as experienced as Watt, but they've got the opportunity to show the kind of talent they have.
Since the approach by Rohit, he's been on that aggressive streak ever since he's walked out. Yeah, 3 on the off inside the circle. And it goes to 1 at point.
Ball, what? Come on, lads, tagda bhayera, get out, tagda bhayera, yahi aउँछ.
That's nicely struck. Runs here. This time Jha does a good job of it. He keeps it to 2.
Pawan Saraf, we were talking about him in the pre-match show, and a lot depends on him as well. Really good piece of fielding. He's limiting it to 2. Just too short for my liking. It is one of those pitches where you want the batsman to hit down the ground. Anything short gives the batsman enough time to rock back and play those horizontal back shots. It's when you make the batsman play forward, that's when he's in a little bit of trouble. When I say full, I don't mean half volley. That's bad bowling and gone. Sometimes a bad ball gets a wicket as well. Thank you very much, says Watt. I'll take that one any day of the week.
And if you look at it, Fazil, the last two dismissals have come of two ordinary deliveries. One a full delivery, this one short. Dilip Nath got the toe end of the bat. And Watt says, thank you very much. Soft dismissal here, but the Yaks won't be complaining. He could have hit it to any part of the ground, handed it back to the bowler, and a very good catch by the end of it of his own bowling. Well done, Watt. Dilip Nath will have to depart for 6 in 4. It's 46 for 3. Yep. Good toss to win for the Yaks. Hero from the last game. Wickets, runs. Got the Lumbini Lions home. Great numbers. And what an ambassador to the sport in Afghanistan cricket Gulbadin Naib has been. What a T20 career he has.
Yes, he comes with a huge reputation. He's represented Afghanistan really well. And he's here as a pro. A lot of work now for the Lumbini Lions. Put into bat. 8 overs done, 47 for 3. It is really an uphill task from here.
Yeah, we have Jess Crow standing by with the local talent of Lumbini Lions, Adil Khan. Take it away, Jess.
That's right, I'm joined here by Adil Khan. Adil, the team are 47 for 3. What do you make of the performance?
It's fine. We had a couple of wickets all the
Earlier you took middle. This is middle stump. That is middle. Next stump.
And being a local Nepal player, how nice is it to see the crowd coming in numbers every day?
very happy because Saturday packed house. Hope so it'll be filled at the end of the day.
And now we're still early stages of the comp. How has it been gelling with the team so far?
Very fine because the overseas guys are very friendly and our support staff are helping with the local guys to gel up together. First game we had a very good win. Hope so today we can go back with a good result.
And how important has the NPL been for the development of the game over here in Nepal?
Very well because you see last tournament also a couple of guys making to the national side and hope so this kind of tournament helps youngsters like us to make it in the national squad.
Now, when you do get your opportunity to step onto the pitch, what will your personal plan of attack be?
It's depend on the situation and the condition, the wicket how is playing and how opposition are bowling. So we plan according to that.
Great stuff. Well, all the best for you and the team.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Back to comms.
Thank you, Jess. Yeah, we'll be eager to see even Adil Khan on display at some point in time. But at the moment, the Yaks are putting on a very fine display with the ball and in the field.
Well, I think partly Lumbini Lions have themselves to blame, Mikhail. The way they came and approached right from the outset, I just didn't like the planning here. Short, Jora, they had the pitch at its best. Yeah, you play shots like this, you'll get runs. You don't have to hit the cover of the ball. We've seen conventional cricket, timing, placement getting more premium than just going and hitting the ball and trying to take the leather off it. Now you saw beautifully played this by Gulbadin Naib. The 50 for the Lumbini line finally coming up in the 9th over. So they're slightly behind the 8 ball, but they need to catch up from here. Till the 15th over, these two need to be there to get a decent total. I think a total of about 165 to 170 will be a really good total. Anything above 170, you could consider that a close to winning score.
Yeah, the question is who's going to do the heavy lifting from here? Is it the same combination, Rohit and Naib once again?
Well, yes, these two have to be there till at least the 15th, 16th over, and then 3 or 4 overs at the back end if they have wickets in hand, which they will if these two are out there in the middle, especially Naib. He really holds the key to Lumbini Lions getting to that score of 170, maybe 175, and Rohit can just play that supporting role for now before he cuts loose.
He's been trying that shot for a while. This time he'll find dividend as well. Nicely done, picked up the slow delivery, but the placement here was impeccable.
Well, third time lucky for Rohit Paudel. 9 done, 56 for 3.
It's been a bit of a move on for the Lumbini Lions, but they're still off the boil at the moment in terms of the scores they need to have after 9 overs. And what's really adding problems here is the wickets column.
Well, like I said, they have themselves to blame. They came out there first use of the pitch. Didn't really like the way Jora approached the innings. Just trying to hit the cover of the ball. And now we can see Naib there timing the ball really well. And he's out there because this is what happened. A very innocuous ball by Watt straight back to him. So they'll be really hurting with the Lumbini Lions. Haven't played the smartest cricket. You just need to be smart in T20 cricket. Dilip Nath was found wanting there.
Yeah, 2 ordinary outings for him. Out for 10 in the last game, out for 6 in this. Given that important position of coming out at number 4 in T20 format. And while Watt is settling into a nice spell, good rhythm here. 1 for 5. He's seen turn there, Fazal.
We've seen turn throughout the tournament, but it's slow turn. You can negotiate it. Off that back foot, it becomes a lot easier. The cut and the pull will come into the picture.
That one came quickly with the arm. So many mind games as a bowler.
Be around now that Rohit Paudel will be thinking, what is the kind of score that we're looking at? I don't think it's a 190, 200 kind of wicket. 9 runs and all will get them 150. So I think around 170 is a very good score on this pitch. Nicely struck. They'll really have to dig deep over here. So about anywhere between 165 to 175 is a really good score. You get 170, I think it's par for this pitch. Anything above 170, Mikhail, I think it's a really good score.
Another very fine over. Just the 2 runs, make it 3 with that single coming of Watt's second over. Work to do for the Lumbini Lions. 59 for 3 at the halfway stage. And this will also mean with a tap on the watch, it's going to be an expert strategic timeout or education partner. It's Super Saturday, color, vibe, energy, everything in the TU Stadium over here, and the Dhaka Topis as well, and we're all putting up a collective effort. That's the My Dear AC, as it will reward one of the most energetic fan with a brand new AC as the coolest fan of the day. It was Ganga Dal last evening. I was at the presentation over there. Who's winning it today? HD. What an atmosphere. Nepal always just keeps up with this intensity and love.
The support of the game, the love of the game is something that is just infectious.
Only the second doubleheader this time around, and it's the Kathmandu Gorkhas will be taking on the Biratnagar Kings. The Biratnagar Kings look a sight to beat. Gorkhas a bit wounded, but they'll certainly want to come back. They're a good side as well. Nice contest, match number 8, loading in a short while from now. And 17-year-old Bipin Sharma did really well against Afghanistan under 19 in the recent games that he played in. He should be a sure shot inclusion, very talented. Gulbuddin Nebs had a very good 2025 season, particularly against pacers, but if you take a look at spinners, his strike rate has dropped. Versus pace and spin, the strike rate is 187 to 111. So not a bad time to have spin employed from both ends if I'm Sumpal Kami or HD. What a delivery, inside edge maybe. Lucky Gulbuddin Neb.
Yeah, just a little scratch. Just a little scratch. But so surprising that you mentioned that statistic, because of what he's brought up playing against. So many great spinners in the Afghanistan sort of setup.